Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ashfa Diniyah. I'm from Chemistry A. Here I will answer the question of Filsafat. Number 1 is there are several theories of science truth. Among one, theories of correspondence, corrections, pragmatic, and religious. Explain the four theories by giving example of each theory. Number 1 is correspondence theory. It's a theory that has the view that statements are true if they are related to facts. Example: women are people who can conceive and bear a child. Iron, when heated, will expand. Number 2 is coherence theory. It's a theory of truth beside one coherent or consistent criteria, namely of theory that says a statement is consistent with previous statements that have been considered allegedly and clearly true. Example is all humans need water. Rudy is human, so Rudy needs water. Number 3 is pragmatic theory. It's a theory that holds that the meaning of ideas is limited by reference to scientific and personal or social consequence. Example: compulsory education from elementary, secondary to senior and tertiary levels has pragmatic value not only associated with belief. Number 4 is religious theory. It's a theory of absolute truth that originates from God Almighty and is internalized by individuals with integrity, with faith and trust. Example is in worship to activities are in the Al-Quran, which can then be used as a guideline for Muslims. Number 2 is mention some of the means of scientific thinking you know and explain each of these means. Why it is important in scientific thinking with examples. Number 1 is language. It's a verbal communication tool that is used in all process of scientific thinking and natural thinking because it serves as a communication tool to convey the way of thinking throughout the process of scientific thinking. Example: Indonesian is a unified language that must be understood by every citizen of Indonesia as a form of formal or non-formal communication. Number 2 is mathematics. It's a means of scientific thinking that uses patterns of deductive reasoning because mathematics developed a numerical language that allows us to make measurements quantitatively. Example: if it is known that A belongs to B environment while B has no relationship with C, then A has no relationship with C. Number 3 is statistics. Is knowledge related to how to collect facts, process and make decisions that are quite based on the facts and analysis carried out because it serves to generalize and infer the characteristic of an event with more certainty and not happen by chance. Example is we carry out research in the laboratory, so accurate data and analysis are needed. Therefore, statistics are needed to support this research. Number 3 is explain the differences between the paradigm of relationism and empiricism in saying how science is obtained. Give examples of this. paradigms. Number one is rationalism. It's a school of thought that emphasizes the important role of reason or ideas as a source of knowledge. Example, when solving any mathematical operation, when we do this, we use reason exclusively. Number two is empiricism. It's a situation based on real events that have been experienced and obtained through research, observation, or experiments that have been carried out. Example, humans believe that social interaction can occur between individuals because they have experienced and seen in it directly. Number four is in the philosophy of science we know three important things, namely ontology, epistemology, and axiology. Explain these three terms with examples. Number one is ontology. It's a branch of philosophy that deals with truth, a science that discusses the nature of everything that exists, either in the form of physical or metaphysical reality. Example, for example, on the home ontology. Nowadays, there are many models and shapes of houses, such as flats and apartments, where the shape of the house didn't exist in ancient times. Number two is epistemology. It's a science that examines the source of knowledge, methods, structures, and whether or not that knowledge is true. Example is we get house information through the five senses will be analyzed by the sense that we have, sense that will classify all the information we receive into a science about the house. Number three is axiology. It's a branch of philosophy of science that questions how humans use their knowledge. Axiology itself discusses the benefits of the knowledge we get. The range of this axiology is ethics and aesthetics. Example is if we discuss the science of house, then with axiology we can find out whether houses provide benefits to our lives. Number five is explain the hierarchy of science according to the philosophy of science and give example of each. In the knowledge hierarchy, there are five main foundations, namely, number one is tradition. It's the foundation of knowledge. Something is considered true because it has been considered true since long ago. Example, people often do weightlifting exercises with 3 sets of 10 repetitions. When asked what the reason is, because it's often done by many people. Number two is authority. Hierarchy of knowledge based on authority means something is considered true because it is said by experts. Example, the students in the class will assume what the teacher says is true because the teacher is considered an expert. Number three is trial and error. Trial means try and error means wrong. Trial and error is used to gain good knowledge. Example is the skillful manner in which her terrier Tony opens the garden gate is easily misunderstood as an act of insight by someone who saw the letters behavior. Number 4 is logical reasoning, systematic process that combines personal experience, intelligence, and formal systems of thought to acquire knowledge. Example: today the sun rises in the east horizon. Katrina air pressure 902 bar. Number 5 is scientific method, the top of the scientific hierarchical pyramid. Scientific method includes systematic examination, empirical control, and critical proportion points on the hypothesis. Example is the effect of catfish pond water with on plant growth. Number 6 is in Islam, we know there is the Islamization of science and the integration of religion and science. What do these both terms mean? What was the background of the appearance of these two concepts? How are the forms of Islamization of science and the integration of religion and science implemented? Number 1 is the concept of Islamization of knowledge. Islamization of science is human liberation from magical, mythological, animistic, national cultural traditions which are in conflict with Islam, and from the cycles of secularism towards thought and language. The background of this concept is due to the absence of a neutral knowledge base, so that knowledge cannot stand value free. From that are carried out, such as the spread of Islam through social relations and marriage and trading activities, social interaction between Muslim traders who live in Indonesia and the local community. Number 2 is integration of religion and science, means trying to combine science and religion to create a new format for the relationship between science and Islam in an effort to rebuild Islamic science, which has so far been seen as non-existent. The background to the integration of religion and science is the existence of dualism or scientific dichotomy between general science on the one hand and religious knowledge on the other hand, which in turn creates a dichotomy in the education system. The forms that are implemented are 1. Islamic scientification, 2. Islamization of science, 3. Cultivating revelation-based Islamic science findings, 4. Merging between several integration models. Enough for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.